Hello everyone, welcome to the first practical class of ENS 305. As you know, you have 4 theory papers and 2 practical papers. So, this is paper 5th, that is ENS 305 practical 1. Today I will cover the bacteriological culture methods. In ENS 305 you have 5 to 6 different practical based on bacteriological culture method. What are those practicals? Start with first one, that is demonstration of techniques of pouring, spreading and streaking. Then isolation of bacteria from soil, air or water. Then morphological characterization of that isolated bacterial strain. Next is preparation of oxenic or pure culture of that isolated bacteria, and the next one is preservation of the isolated bacterial strain, and the last one different biochemical characterization test of that particular isolated bacterial strain. We will demonstrate all these practicals in laboratory. We will perform all these practicals in our laboratory, and we will prepare all the steps following with the instruction and all. So, before start with the practicals, I would just like to add some introduction, or you can say the background information about bacteriological culture methods, or the how many types of media, what are the common media and all. So, today in a very short video or very short time, we will cover all those aspects. As we all know, that bacteria was first observed in 17th century by Antony von Leeuwenhoek, and until 19th century the study of microbiology or the study of microorganisms was not that much of serious concern, or we can say was not the serious objective for the scientific community to study. But in 18th and 19th century, when the several scientists have found that the various human and animal diseases are caused by some microorganisms or the bacteria, then the golden age of microbiology, as you know, the mid 1800s to early 1900s is known as the golden age of microbiology. In that era, Robert Koch, Louis Pasteur and various associated scientists and researchers have worked on the bacteriological culture methods, and they have they have proposed various methods how to extract or isolate a bacteria, a microorganism from natural environment or from the natural sources, and how to cultivate them in an artificial medium to facilitate additional studies. And the nutritional needs of the bacteria, we all know that the nutritional need of the bacteria can be met through specialized microbial media. In previous lectures, I have told about the basic know-how of the culture media and the types of media and all, oxenic and the pure and the mixed media and all I have told to you. So, today we will discuss about the media. We know there are algal media, there are fungal media, but we will talk about only the bacteriological culture media. There are 2 different type of media. One is the liquid media, or we can say broth based, BROTH, broth based, and second one is solid media, that is commonly known as agar based media. What is the difference between the liquid and the solid media? In solid media, just we add a solidifying agent, that is agar. Then the first question comes in our mind, why we generally use agar. Sometimes some media we use gelatin also, but agar is the most common. Why? We know agar is a polysaccharide derived from the seaweed, that is belong to Rhodophyceae family, is preferred because it is an inert, non-nutritive substance, and the agar provide a solid base, a solid growth surface for the bacteria upon which the bacteria reproduce, colonize, and they just form the lumps of the cells just to increase their colony. sorry. Today, bacteriological media formulations can be purchased in powder form from the markets. I said there are two type of media, liquid media and solid media. There are some nutrition. In previous lecture, I have told about what are the nutrition required for a bacteria, a microorganism to grow, and what are the different sources of those nutrients or those essential elements. So we know in a media there are a specific composition A, B, C, D, E, F. There are different chemicals. So today in market there are available formulations of those media are available, but we can prepare those media by combination of different chemicals in our laboratory also. So when we come to the most common widely used a very simple bacterial media, sorry, the one name came in our mind, that is nutrient agar media. We all familiar with the nutrient agar media. We know nutrient agar is a general purpose nutrient media used for the cultivation of microbes, supporting growth of a wide range of non-fastidious organisms. Nutrient agar is popular because it can grow a variety of types of bacteria and the fungi and contains many nutrients needed for the bacterial growth. If we talk about the composition of the nutrient agar, there are peptone, beef extract or yeast extracts, then agar, obviously it is a agar based media, then NaCl and water, distilled water, and we have to maintain the pH of that media. How much amount we need to use? I will provide you a PDF or a document in which the composition, the percentage, or gram, weight, everything will be discussed there. For basic information, I am just add 5% peptone, 0.3% beef extract, 1.5% agar, 5% NaCl and distilled water. Peptone is a source of peptone is an enzymatic digestion animal protein, which is a highly source of organic nutrients for microorganisms. Then beef extract is a source of vitamins, carbohydrates, organic nutrients as well. Then agar, as you know, I have already told, this is a solidifying agent. Then NaCl is a sodium chloride. Nutrient agar NaCl is used to just maintain the salt concentration or salt medium of that media. And distilled water, we know all these powder are mixed into a distilled water in a fixed volume, and we just prepared our media. Then pH we have to maintain just 7.4 around pH, we have to adjust of that media, and we have to keep it at the 25 degrees centigrade. If we talk about how we prepare the nutrient agar media, what are the steps? If we have a powdered form composition, fully mixed of composition, then we just need to add 28 gram of that nutrient media into 1 liter of distilled water. But if we don't have that powder form, matlab ready-made powder form, then we have to mix how much? 15 gram of agar, 5 gram of peptone, 3 gram of beef extract and 5 gram of sodium chloride, and we all mixed it in a 1 liter. After mixing it, we heat the mixture while stirring for the fully dissolve of the components. Then we will go to the autoclave. As we all know, we go to the autoclave for the further dissolution of that composition, and maintain the temperature of 121 degrees Celsius of that autoclave, that is the chamber, for 15 minutes at 15 psi. Once the nutrient agar has been autoclaved, allow it to cool but not to solidify. We have to just check the palm temperature. If that glassware or the conical flask is bearable to at our palm, then we can pour it to the Petri plates. Then next is pour nutrient into agar into the plates and leave the plates on the sterile surface. Then next, this is the all about the preparation of nutrient agar. Then how a bacteria or how a microorganism grow in a culture. A population of bacteria grown in a laboratory is simply referred as culture, as we all know. A pure culture contains a single type of microorganisms, as I have already told in previous lecture, and if the number of microorganisms are 2 or more than 2, then it is referred as mixed culture. Just a second. As the bacteria can live almost anywhere, this is again a precaution step, as we all know that bacteria can sustain or live anywhere. So, the subculturing steps, subculturing means that is it starts from the weighing of that particular chemical or the cleaning of the glasses which we are going to use in our laboratory. Start from there till the our colony or our bacteria we isolate or we extract. So, the subculturing steps must be performed aseptically to ensure that unwanted bacterial or fungal contamination is kept out of important culture. In microbiology, aseptic techniques essentially requires only common sense and good laboratory skills. What are those? First, consider that every surface you touch and the air you breathe may be contaminated by the microorganisms. Then think about the steps you can take to minimize your exposure to unwanted invisible intruders. You should also thinking about how to prevent contamination of your bacterial cultures with bacteria from the surrounding environment, which includes you. We know we all perform these lectures, we all perform these practicals in a laminar bench or laminar flow, where we UV light, we have UV light, we just sterilized all the surface and all. To maintain an aseptic work environment, everything you work with should be initially free of microorganisms. Again same thing, we have to sterilize all the equipments, glassware, autoclave, we use of our hands, we sanitize everything just to avoid the burdens of the bio burden or the contamination of that particular media. So, these are the just a basic introduction of your class. In the next we will actually planning to prepare a virtual class of your practicals. So, we will perform each of these practicals one by one, and we will record the steps following with the instruction, and we will give it to you for your basic understanding and know-how of all these practicals. So, for today this is all. If you have anything, you can ask, we can discuss later. Thank you.